Welcome, I'm Rabbi Phil Bressler of Ben Am in Corvallis, Oregon. This is the daily summary video for the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Yomi Daily Halacha Learning Project, covering the passage from Siman 84 Seif 5 to Siman 84 Seif 15. You can find links to the Hebrew and English text of this passage and to the calendar of upcoming passages in this video's description. We're still talking about going out carrying your garments and ornaments on Shabbat. If you need to use a cane to get around, you're permitted to go out with it on Shabbat, but don't pick one up as an accessory. It's only okay if you really need it to get around. Apparently, a person shackled in chains can walk out with them. That's great, but I feel like you've got bigger problems if that's the case. No stilts allowed on Shabbat. That's apparently not a joke. Evidently, people might use them to get across mud or water. If you've got a bandaged wound, you can go out with your bandage on as long as it's already in place there. You can't put it there on Shabbat. We've talked previously about remedies and healing on Shabbat and trying to avoid that. Absorbent materials in your ears, like cotton balls or stuff in your shoes that's absorbent, those are considered okay as long as there's no worry they're going to fall out. Doesn't sound like a garment or ornament to me, but I gather it's a comfort thing, and as long as there's no worry you're going to drop it and put it back, that's okay. Seif 10 is bad. This is the result of creating halakha from an entirely male perspective without bothering at all to take a woman's perspective into account. The Kitzur says it's prohibited to go out with menstrual pads on. That's not a garment or an ornament. Then in the very next breath says, unless it's to save her from discomfort. Like, what the heck do you think they're for, Gansfried? I don't really get it. If the ground where you're walking on is muddy, you can hoist up your clothes a little bit, but not fully, whatever that means, so they don't get dirty. I guess maybe you'd think that's carrying your clothes as opposed to wearing them if you're sort of holding them, supporting them with your hands. The footnotes make it seem like there might also be an issue with folding them if you hike them up too high. The usualness principle that I've spoken about applies again here. You can go out wearing multiple layers, even if one of them is not really for you, or to insulate you or something. Even if you're just sort of wearing it to bring it to someone else, as long as wearing multiple layers for you is something you sometimes do ordinarily. So if it's a usual, as in sometimes kind of a thing for you, you could do it on Shabbat, even if you don't necessarily need to do it. Note though, the usualness pertains both to your personal habits and also to social norms. The Kitzur gives the example of wearing multiple belts. If that's the custom where you are, and that's what's fashionable and ordinary for people to go out wearing, then that's totally normal wearing of garments on Shabbat, whether you need the second belt to hold up your pants or not. C14 covers how to go out with your handkerchief in ways that I think make it part of your garments, maybe involving suspenders or things like that. I don't have any lived experience of trying to do that, and I really don't understand that seif. And finally, gloves or mittens that you might put on for the cold. Apparently there are different opinions on whether or not they're permitted, but the stringent Ashkenazi Kitzur thinks you should try to tough it out. That's all for today. As always, our learning is dedicated to Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried, the author of the Kitzur, and the historic Jewish community of Uzhhorod, Ukraine. We'll see you tomorrow.